everybody. So today we're going to be pouring some flour mold and these coasters, and I've mixed up my pigments already. This is a mixture of two things. It's the Just For You Online UK gold floating powder and some new classic resin gold mica pigment. And here we have some Just For You Online UK silver floating pigment powder that I've mixed up. Sorry for the noise of the washing machine in the background. Here I've mixed up some white mica pigment. Actually, no, that's not true. This is crystal pearl pigment from Just For You Online UK. And then here's clear resin with gold and silver leaf broken down and mixed up inside. Just adding a little more clear to that gold and silver leaf as it was a bit on the thick side. The resin I'm using is, as usual for projects like this, new classic resin, tabletop epoxy. And eventually I will do a top coat on the coasters with, what's it called? Faux Rizzle resin, because it has heat resistance up to 500 degrees. So like I said, this is an experiment. I haven't really done anything quite like this before. So I'm starting out with the white pearl pigment from Just For You Online UK. I've sped the video up a little bit here, and I'm starting out just doing 4 coasters because I'm not so sure how much I'll have left. I also wanted to try this new mold I have with the word blessed, and I've already coiled up some LED light strand and placed that inside the mold, and now I'm pouring the resin over top of it, and it started to spread fairly quickly, and I really wanted the demarcation of the 3 separate colors, so I quickly poured this before I started pouring anything else because I didn't want the white to spread over the whole mold before I could get the rest of the colors in there. Okay, now I'm using the gold combination. And now the silver. And then I poured in the gold silver leaf combo and then some clear, and I did it right away on this one because it was coming into the center quickly and I didn't want it to get all into the center before I could get that gold and silver in there. Now I'm showing you a crystal that I made out of this mold several days earlier out of just clear resin mixed with gold and silver leaf, and I'm placing that in the middle of the flower at this point. Getting rid of the bubbles with the heat gun, or sorry, the butane lighter. Just removing a bit of silver leaf that was kind of chunky. And then I forgot to add the silver first, so I have to add that later. But now I'm doing the gold leaf in the center of the coasters. And now I'm adding the silver because I realized, oh, right, I forgot to do the silver. Now I'm going to do the other coasters with, I had enough resin to keep going. I end up bending one of these coasters into a little bowl because I don't want an uneven number of coasters in a set. So 6 coasters and then one bent into a little bowl, which you'll see later. And now this one, I remembered to do the silver before I put in the clear, and they turned out differently, and you'll see that later. So now it's the next day. We're going to unmold these. I just want to say a word about this mold. It's from Art Blanc, which is out of Moscow, Russia. They have the most beautiful molds as far as how well they're made. I wish shipping wasn't so expensive because I would buy from them constantly. Now this flower has a lot of bend in it still, and I will bend it into a bowl shape later. I didn't have a bowl on hand that was the right size to use as a mold, so I ended up taping it, just pulling it up the way I wanted it and then taping it up to hold it all in place. So here I'm just bending it to see how much give it has and how much I can get out of it. Yesterday I added a top coat to these after letting them cure for a week, and honestly, a dome coat just makes such a difference to how the resin looks. It just brings out all the detail. It really is a must to do a dome coat on your flat items. And as you can see, these sets of coasters, the ones I poured first and the ones I poured next, look completely different. And the only difference is the order I put the silver in. And I actually prefer the ones where I forgot to put the silver in and added it later. And I love this little flower. I love the way this flower is shaped. And so I'm going to mold that right away in a little ceramic bowl that I keep just for this. I actually purchased it just for this. It's the exact right size to mold this flower. just pushing it all the way to the bottom so that it has a little bit of a flat surface when it's demolded, so it won't roll around when it's sitting on a surface. And then I poured some excess into this little shell mold. And now I'm going to use another bowl to mold this, as I spoke of earlier. And it didn't really want to stay down. It kept popping back up. So I ended up weighting it down with a jar full of product. You can see it keeps working its way back up. That wasn't heavy enough. And that worked. Now it's the next day. This is the bowl I taped up, and we're going to remove the tape and see how it looks. Now I'm using my new gold chrome pens that I have another video on that I showed you how they worked compared to the pens I was using previously. And I'm just going to paint the edge of this flower bowl and the coasters. And I'm going to speed it up here so that we can get through it quickly. I won't show me doing every single coaster. What I really liked about these pens is they come in different sizes, so I was able to use the smaller nib pen to get way down into the crack there, where normally I would never be able to reach in there with the pens I used before. So having the pen with 3 different nib sizes is actually really, really convenient. All right, and so we're all finished, and here's how they look. I'm very happy with the finished product, and these are now available for sale in my Etsy shop.